That wasn't my fault, Donald Trump. He's still talking, by the way. Happy Thursday, everyone. So earlier tonight, Kamala Harris officially accepted her party's nomination for president. God, I hope Joe doesn't find out about this. You know, I tell you what she said, but we're still having it translated. She arrived at the arena just as you'd expect. In fact, here's a shot of her limo.
Nice.
Her husband, Doug Emhoff, was in such a celebratory mood, he knocked up 2 nannies. 2! Tim Walz's former high school football players introduced him on Wednesday, but people on social media pointed out that Walz only served as an assistant coach, mostly assisting them with their tampons. Donald Trump vows to impose tough new sentences on illegal migrant criminals, including the death penalty. In other words, he's sending them to Chicago. Kamala Harris' support for a bail fund continues to haunt her as more examples of crimes committed by those released come to light. The Minnesota Freedom Fund paid bail for an assailant who killed someone. A week later, a habitual DUI driver who later crashed and killed a passenger, and a serial arsonist who tried to burn down a mosque. So it's a murderer, a drunk driver, and an arsonist, otherwise known as the Democrats' base. That was a long walk. Last night, on her walk to the podium, a sheet of paper fell from Nancy Pelosi's pantsuit. It actually turned out to be the warranty card for her face. Terrible! How dare you laugh at that? Meanwhile, in her ancestral Indian village, people are cheering for Kamala Harris's presidential bid. A woman claiming to be the village mayor wished her good luck. Wrong Indian! Wrong Indian! Stevie Wonder performed at the DNC last night. They specifically asked for a blind performer because their delegates are so ugly. Aw, that's so mean. They call you racist. Finally, the Taliban is trying to jumpstart the Afghanistan tourism industry. Their new slogan, come for the hiking, stay for the goat sex. All right, let's do a monologue. No more goat sex for you people. Is the Democrat convention a complete invention? Let's talk about the event that just happened and the last 4 years that didn't. It's a mirage, a consensual hallucination where a bunch of brainwashers agreed to pretend that our most recent president was Donald Trump. I know, we wish. If that were the case, we'd have a border wall, Middle East peace, and a first lady who's not mixing hemlock into her husband's applesauce. But it's a fantasy world where Kamala Harris has no fingerprints on anything except the wine fridge. And why? So the Dems can claim they're charting a new way forward. Yes, Kamala's charting, which replaces Biden's sharding. It's as if she bears no responsibility for the old way she claims to be leaving behind. It's like Brian Kilmeade coming to work dressed as a plumber after clogging all the toilets in the Fox News building. The Dems promise us joy after 4 years of misery that they created. Sorry, we've seen what their version of joy looks like. Obviously, they want you to forget Cam was VP and that Joe was P, which he still is, by the way. He's the first sitting president who's mostly horizontal. So they screw up a country, then say they'll unscrew it. It's like a criminal offering a great price on good years after they spent 4 years slashing yours. But how can you promise restitution for a crime you claim you didn't commit? In order for this ploy to work, voters have to believe the border has been secure, while at the same time believing she's going to fix it. We have to believe prices will come down, while also believing Bidenomics has been a huge hit. We hear that they're bringing patriotism back, so join us in saluting the flag while our delegates burn it. Of course, the voter is left to ask, How can you promise something you've already had 4 years to deliver, but actually condemned? This White House linked patriotism to right-wing extremism, and pessimism was a must as long as Orange Hitler roamed free. And how can you have joy if America is irredeemably racist? But the Harris-Walz campaign is like a donut, a ring of puffy fluff with a great big hole in the middle. It's no wonder Brian Stelter's mouth is always watering. What that hole needs is an actual candidate. See, it's worse than the emperor having no clothes. It's the clothes having no emperor. Just a pantsuit on strings. The Democrat-controlled media claims America doesn't know Kamala yet, but that's the plan. On CNN, Aaron Burnett suggests Kamala should just keep doing what she's doing, namely nothing.
Charlamagne, you've interviewed Kamala Harris.
Yep, a few times.
She hasn't done a big interview in a while here, and certainly not since announcing. Are you going to talk to her soon? What do you think? What do you think she should do, or does she do better to ignore all those calls to talk and just keep doing what she's doing?
Oh, thank you, Aaron. It's not often the media tells the truth, and here she is saying it. If it helps you, just ignore us. It's like a referee encouraging a basketball team that's up 6 points with a minute left to play keep away until the clock runs out. That way, she won't have to answer for her awful ideas, like helping to put violent thugs back on the street or her fake work as the borders are. But they have a solution. It's low-T men. Right, Ms. Bash?
They are doing so in trying to put forward male figures, Tim Walz being one of them, Doug Emhoff last night, who can speak to men out there who might not be the sort of testosterone-laden, gun-toting kind of guy who wants to listen to Hulk Hogan.
Wow, that must make a Democrat male feel really good. I do give Doug Emhoff's testosterone credit. He had enough for his first wife and his nanny. And Tampon Tim, he's so manly, he supports women getting their balls waxed. Meanwhile, Jones claims there's a new muscular patriotism.
I haven't seen so many USA. There's a muscular patriotism associated with Kamala Harris. There's a musculature to what she's saying. She wants to fight. She's not afraid. I want to fight for this.
Is he talking about Kamala or Michelle? See, it's muscular patriotism when they do it. When you do it, you're just one step away from painting a Confederate flag on the roof of your Camry and lighting a cross on your neighbor's lawn. Funny, usually when Dems are shouting USA, it's followed by sucks. Meanwhile, since the Harris campaign won't reveal their policies, the Trump campaign did it for them with a new website called Kamala2024policies.com. It's got sections like fighting to set murderers free, abolish borders, bring back the Green New Deal, eliminate private health insurance. It's a Christmas list for crackpots. All stuff Cam said over the years, which she now denies. So can you believe those evil Republicans actually quoting their opponent? It's funny, they denied Joe Biden lost his mind until it was seen by everyone. And now they're acting like we're the ones with dementia for remembering everything that they're trying to forget. But we can only hope that by December, Joe and Kamala will both be distant memories. Welcome tonight's guest. Even Stevie Wonder complained about his outfit. Founder of StudioTSD.com, Michael Loftus. She finds it exciting when two men are fighting. Host of Outkick the Morning, Charlie Arnold. Soon it won't be trespassing for her to be in the maternity ward. New York Times bestselling author and Fox News contributor, Kat Tiff. And the last time he played Twister, 14 people died. New York Times bestselling author, comedian, and former NWA World Champion, Tyrus. So, Michael, you and your hobo friends watched the speech at the nearest shelter down in Midtown. How was it received?
Luckily, we had an empty can of beans
Yes.
and a piece of string, and we listened. And then it all came to a close. This wonderful advertisement for lies and debauchery.
But she said she's going to secure the border. How is she going to do that?
I don't know. Hopefully she knows somebody.
Yeah.
Hopefully she has a contact.
Maybe in the White House.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yes. Somebody that's there already.
Right.
Maybe a vice president.
Someone who knows what's going on.
Yes.
That's been the craziness of this whole thing until we watched the balloons drop like thousands of immigrants pouring across the border. Ooh. Look, there's a red one, there's a white one, there's a blue one. He must be sad. Give him all your stuff. Please. All those balloons now can buy a house in Oregon with no money down. Yeah, it's crazy. I'll be nice about Kamala Ding Dong. She put on a clinic in terms of the hi, oh, you're here. That fake thing that they're like, what in the world? You're here. Oh, hi. Like, she's got that part down.
Right.
Right? Like Tim Waltz, he still rushes it. Mm-hmm. He does the, whoa, you're here. Hi, my heart. Oh, you got a leg. Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
He's got to relax.
It's like they sped up the tape with him.
Yeah.
I need to get
you need the Benny Hill music.
Charlie.
Head coach, combat, head coach.
Charlie, imagine being a Democrat male and being told that, you know the good thing about you? Low testosterone.
Sadly, I'm sure that most of these men take this as a compliment. They're like, oh my goodness, low testosterone. I've been waiting my whole life to hear this. Honestly, I hope most of these low T males that are at the DNC, I hope they're, taking a little detour going to the vasectomy truck.
Yes.
Because they are the last people that I would like to reproduce in this country. But when you really look at the whole Democratic Party as a whole, calling them sheep is the best synonym for them. I mean, they really are weak-bodied, weak-minded. Just a month ago, nobody, and this still blows my mind, nobody was talking about Kamala Harris as being an acceptable presidential candidate.
They were going to dump her.
Nobody. But suddenly they had to pivot quickly, and they realized, okay, we've got a DEI meal ticket ready to go.
Yeah.
And when you look at the past, I mean, even just in March, the Washington Post, which we know is an ultra-liberal publication, they had an opinion piece titled, "For the sake of our country, Vice President Kamala Harris should step aside."
Yeah.
No one liked her then. We can clap, it's true. They still don't like her now.
Yeah.
But she was met with a thunderous applause that would not die down until she said good evening like 55 times to start her speech.
It's like it reminds me of that movie Green Card, where like the United States wants to stay in the country, so they got to marry Kamala. That was a terrible analogy. Kat, it is true, though, when you look kind of at the Trump supporters, they're all scary dudes. Dana White, Kid Rock, rappers, MMA fighters. Then you look over at the Dems, and it's Seth Rogen. And Seth Rogen.
Yeah. I mean, although, honestly, I'd never heard Doug Emhoff talk before the other night.
Yeah.
And I was kind of, he actually was kind of charming.
Yeah.
Which I was surprised by, but then I shouldn't have been. Because, you have to be charming to impregnate the nanny.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. No, you know he's got game.
Yeah.
But then again, okay, I have to explore this. Impregnating the nanny means you're lazy.
Yeah, you can't go out and cheat.
You can't go out and cheat. It has to be delivered.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, she's right there. It's like, no, go.
But who's to say that he wasn't doing both?
Yeah, that's true.
Who's to say that the nanny was there, but then also out? Who knows? But I also think they did a better job, the Democrats, of the rumor. But I don't know who started this rumor that Beyonce was going to be there tonight. But I want to know who started this rumor and how do I get that person to start this rumor for my own shows?
Yes.
Because people at the end were still hanging out.
Yeah.
After she was done, people didn't want to leave because they were still convinced. I'm going to be in Thousand Oaks in a couple of weeks. Who's going to spread the rumor that Beyonce is going to be there?
But you hit on this. They needed people to stick around.
Yeah, but how did they convince? I was like,
don't.
where's
They used the
Beyonce?
Beyonce.
They leaked it. They
Yeah.
leaked it like it was happening. I was
So
watching
people
the show.
would stick around for
Yes,
Kamala.
Of course, yes, of
That
course.
just that is so sad.
But it's brilliant. But they did it. People believed it, including me. I was like, well, we might probably going to be getting to bed real late because Beyonce.
Yeah,
Never been happier to not see Beyonce.
I know. Well, Democrats got 99 problems.
But the truth ain't one.
But the truth ain't one. Nicely done. Nicely done. All right, Tyrus, what did you were watching the speech before the show.
You know, it's funny because I could feel my testosterone leaving my body as I watched. So I turned it off, did some push-ups, and attacked a low T guy. Sorry, Gene. On a serious note, now that it's over, I think the biggest round of applause needs to go to the Chicago Police Department because they protected. How much honor is in protecting a group that you know is excited about defunding you and demoralizing you? And most people would have walked off the job and be like, "Oh no, these are your people. Allow us to walk them in." But they didn't do that. So I think that was probably the best part of the DNC was that the men and women that wear those shields, regardless of what is being talked and done to them, they showed up and they did their job. So I think that's the most important thing.
Nice. Good point. Good point. All right, shall we move on? What a great beginning to an awesome show. And stick around because Beyonce will be in the E Block. Beyonce is going to be showing up in the E Block, and we're going to do a recipe segment with Steve Ducey.
Vasectomies in the van.
Vasectomies with Beyonce.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.